Hi everyone, welcome to the beginner's tutorial on creating Google Slides. As you can see, I am in my Google Drive, top left corner up here. In the top right corner, you can see that I have signed into my school account. Please make sure that you are signed into your school account when you are creating new files and editing. This way, you can easily share your Google Docs and slides with your teachers and with your Google Classroom. I'm going to head back over to the left side, and right underneath the Drive symbol is a button. It says New and Plus. This is where you go to create new slides, docs, and sheets. I'm going to create a slide today, so you're going to click right next to that orange square. So here we are on our Google slide. The center of your screen is your working slide. When you come to the center of the screen, you will read, click to add title. When you click on this text box, your cursor will be placed in the text box and allow you to add your own words. Because this is the title of the slideshow, I am going to select a topic that I know all about me. Just below it says click to add subtitle. When you click in that text box, your cursor gets placed in that text box, and I am going to say that this slideshow is being presented by Mrs. Khan. So this left panel over here is where all the different slides are stored. The first slide is your title slide. I want you to think of this almost like the cover of a book. Your title or the main topic that this slideshow is all about should be right there for everyone to see. Who is it by? That it's just like the cover of a book. Anyways, if I come back over to this left panel, just above it, you can see what's called the formatting toolbar. And it has tools going right across that we can play with later. For right now, I want you to look at the tool that's just above that number 1 slide. It looks like a plus sign. Notice if I hover on a tool that it will actually tell you what that tool does. It says plus new slide. So if I click on the plus, I should see a new slide appear, and voila, it does. Well, I'm going to share 3 things about me that perhaps you don't know, or maybe you know, but I'm passionate about. So this whole slideshow is all about me. The first thing I'm going to do on my second slide is add a subtopic. What is something that perhaps I don't think most of you know? I love hockey. I'm going to put that in as a subtitle, and then this text box to me is just too big for me. If I go if you notice on the outer edges of this box, there are little tiny squares. We call these handles. And if you put your pointer on one of those handles and turn your pointer into a line with 2 opposing arrows on the ends of it, you can resize a text box to the size that you're looking for. If it looks like this plus sign, it means that you can move your text box around on your sheet. Now that I have it where I want it, I'm going to click inside the text box, and I have already typed up a little thing about hockey for myself. I love to watch my sons, Wes and Isaac, playing hockey. They play for the Welland Tigers and travel to compete all over Niagara. So you have your subtopic, you want a few details about hockey and why you really enjoy what it is that you love. And then when you're happy with what you have, you might want to take a look at it and see if you have any words that are underlined in red. One of the great features of Google Docs, Google Slides, is when you see this red underlined word, It's telling you this is not spelled correctly. I take my pointer, place it on that word. If I'm using a mouse, I'm clicking on the opposite, on the right mouse button. Normally we click on the left mouse button to select something, but we're going to click on that other mouse button on the right side while we're on top of the word that's underlined, and you'll get a menu. Right now I don't have a mouse, so I'm using the keypad that's right attached to my laptop. If I take two fingers, make sure that they are not touching, a little bit separate, and just tap right in the middle of that keypad, I will get that same menu. And up at the top of the menu, Google is going to suggest a word that it thinks that I am trying to spell. And in fact, they got it right, Niagara. You have to use your brains though. Sometimes Google gets it wrong. You have to look at that word and figure out if that looks like it's the correct word. Anyway, here is my first slide. My second slide, I just come over to this left panel and I can add another subtopic. Let's add in something that I think most of you could guess that I like and am passionate about, reading. I'm going to resize. I'm going to move. And then once I click in that text box, I'll tell you a little bit about reading. I love to read. Wait a second. I've already said I love hockey. I don't like being repetitive, so I'm going to try to start this a little differently. Reading is one of my passions. I enjoy reading. Reading. I enjoy reading historical fiction and epic fantasies. I try to read for 1 hour every night before going to bed. So I could add further details. Perhaps I might have told you a little bit about my favorite book that I've ever read. What you want to do is have between 3 and 5 sentences, I think is pretty good for a single slide. Otherwise, it becomes too overwhelming for the reader. Just things that you think are important that you want to include. So I've got my slide for reading. Going to click on my third slide, and I'm going to tell you a little about one other thing, travel. I don't know if you know this, but I love to travel. I'm going to take the text box down. Now, if you come to the right side or left side, wherever you see those little handles, you can resize your text boxes however you like. I kind of like this size, so I'm going to leave it there, but you can make it wider or thinner. So I'm going to go back up to that number 1 slide. I won't put in all the details about travel, just in saving some time here. On that second slide, under the subtopic hockey, I would really like to add a picture that goes along with what I'm saying. So if you go to the formatting toolbar, just above is a menu bar. They call it a menu bar because when you click on one of the words up here, you get menus for those actions. To add a picture, you want to insert it into your slideshow. So I go to the Insert menu, I select an image, and I could upload it from my computer, but I'm going to start by searching the web. Right here, the second one down, notice how I slide over. If I don't slide over, it goes away. That little arrow tells me that there's another menu hiding behind the arrow. Oh, I'm going to upload. That's not what I wanted to do, Mrs. Khan. I'm going to insert and go to search the web. Up in this search box, I am going to type in hockey player. Here's a word that I'd like you to get used to adding when you're looking for for pictures. Clip art. Clip art is like cartoonish type of pictures. They're fun. So I want hockey player clip art, and I'm going to add in one more thing, kids. Because when I search on Google for anything, if I add the word kids to it, it's going to give me age appropriate websites, images, things that are meant for kids. There's nothing worse than going into a website and finding out that the person who created it has made it for a university level course and I have no idea what I'm reading. So by adding kids, you know you are getting appropriate websites and images. Now, hockey player, kids, pictures. I have some choices down here. Oh, I kind of like this one. What you do is you click it. A little blue, check mark will come up to say that's the one you've selected. And down in the bottom right corner, you just click insert. And all of a sudden, oh, it's giving me a message, unable to create some of the images. So I'm going to dismiss that. It's not letting me insert that particular image. So I've got to go back and pick a different one. And notice how it'll remember what I was on. So I'm going to go look for, oh, this one's pretty cool. Select it and insert it. So now I have an image that matches my text on my slide. And then I told you that when you come to insert image, you can upload from your computer. And I happen to know, oh, actually, it's not even there. You just have to save it. I'm going to insert an image. I have some in my photos. Take a look. Over on the right side in my Google Photos, I have saved some of my son in his Tigers uniform. It matches the text, so I definitely want this on there. Gonna just put that right there and see how I resize the picture. Let me undo. Undo's your friend, my friends. Give that a click and I'm gonna make it, see how it's so big for my slide? When I resize a picture, I go to a corner and I make that pointer look like those two arrows. By doing this, I keep the proportions the same. And what I mean by that is if you use this side handle and you did this, it becomes really squished and skinny. If you were to use the bottom handle and go up, then it could become really short and stubby. I don't like that, so I'm going to come back to my undo button, and when you click the undo, it goes back to your last move. I could keep clicking undo until I get to the point where I had it that I liked it. Anyway, I like it. I would go to my next slide, reading. I would go to insert an image, search the web, and I would look. A lot of the times I leave the clip art and kids here and I just click and drag on the words I don't want, hit my backspace key, and now I would type in book, clip art kids. What can I get here? Oh, these are some cute ones. This guy's a funny little guy. Click on him, click insert. And I have a little guy reading. If I had a picture of myself reading, I could go to insert, to my photos. But first I got to pick images, photos, or I might have saved it in my computer somewhere. Anyway, I think this is a good start for a beginner. What are you waiting for? Go give it a try.